Good morning. I'm here today with Sanford Freed from Safecall. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Catherine.
Tell us a little bit, what is Safecall?
Well, Safecall is a home medical alarms company. And when most people think about home medical alarms, they think about the famous commercial, "Help, I've fallen, I can't get up," which I would love to say is my commercial, but it isn't. It's for another company. But that whole idea of the emergency response device that people use in their home, if they do have a medical issue such as a fall or a heart attack or dizziness, anything like that, they press a button, a device makes a phone call to a group of operators, the operators talk to you in the home, and a response is generated very quickly, usually within minutes.
Now, as I looked at your website, I was amazed at just the different products, but the technology offered by those products. It's not just that old commercial where the lady's sitting in the chair. I mean, there's some real technology that goes into that
Oh my
and the
God.
products that you offer. I wondered if you could share some of that information with us.
Sure. Well, when I started the company in 1995, it was, kind of anything you wanted as long as it was the one thing that we had. There was one emergency response device. Everybody had a phone line in their home, and a few people had cell phones back in the 90s. Today, boy, things have really, really changed. We still have those basic services that require a landline, a phone line to be hooked up. Or you can have a cellular device. If you don't have a phone line in the home, the cellular services will work off of the AT&T wireless network. Whether or not your cell phone uses AT&T or not, it doesn't matter. These systems do. And there's also a mobile variation on those services. So you have a device which is now really smaller than a standard cell phone that you can take with you, and this keeps in contact with the cell towers. It also keeps in contact with the GPS satellites that are roaming around the earth, roaming around the skies, actually.
You don't even have to be in your home. If you fell when you were out somewhere.
Oh, no. I mean, you could be in your home, they work there obviously, but you can also be 50 miles away or 500 miles away. Because we use a robust national cell network like AT&T, you go anywhere. So I've got my Sanford clients who leave Michigan and they go to Arizona or Texas or California or Florida, and they're using these services just as they were using them in their home in Grand Rapids.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's really very cool what is happening with tech. On the back side of things, I'll just kind of briefly give you an insight into what technology is helping us also do, because now we can also have these systems will log in all their activity, so that for a family member who is not in a position to be a responder because they don't live close enough to mom or dad or grandma or anybody, they can have an email sent to them which will have a link to a login, and then they can look in on any activity that may have happened. So the activity they're actually looking at is what the operator is typing as their documentation of the call. So that can be done for people, and we have a few people who take advantage of that. It's not terribly popular, but it is something that it's very easy to provide with the technology. We also don't have to call you on your phone. We can also send you an email or a text message as a way of alerting you that an activity occurred. And then as things have expanded, now you can get these kind of umbrella systems that have an emergency response device built into them. They may monitor your weight, your blood pressure, your heart rate, through different things that you step on or interact with in your home. There may be sensors put into the in the corners of the room or in the hallway to track motion or lack of motion, so that we know if 8 or 10 hours go by, you haven't gone to the bathroom in that period of time, you haven't gone to the kitchen. That may tell us that we should contact somebody. So
this is even beyond falling.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this just tracks a lot of different things. Like if my mom lives out of state and she hasn't moved, then I'm gonna get an email and know that maybe there's something I need to be concerned about.
Exactly. They're going, like you say, it's beyond falling, it's beyond reacting. It's starting to become more proactive of looking at people who are likely to have a problem because they're having whatever their medical conditions are. So, people can put these kinds of systems in their home. Another thing that we do now is fall monitoring. So talk about, and it's still a reactive system. The device can measure when you basically go prone, when you fall down, and it will wait about 30 seconds or 60 seconds, and then it activates and sends a call for help. And now those are also built into the mobile devices. So you don't have to you don't have that service only in your home, as it was just a few years ago, but now it's also a mobile service. So you have mobile connectivity, we got GPS, we can tell you where you are, and the device can also follow you if you take a fall and let us know that that's going on.
So that doesn't even require the person who's fallen to activate something, it just knows, the device knows?
The device can measure it, right. There's certain what are called algorithms that are built into it, and there's a whole bunch of different ways to fall. So the device has a certain amount of intelligence to know that, oh, I was like this and now I'm like this, and I didn't move after I got into this position. So something may be up, I better activate.
Right, so maybe if you fall and you hit your head and you're unconscious and you couldn't activate that button, it takes that into consideration.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So that's where we are. I mean, I can't even say we're headed there. That's where we are today. 2 years from now, who knows what else is going to be developed into it. I mean, there's a ton of companies that are doing work on this. Some of them are doing work on putting applications onto smartphones, onto the Android and the iPhone platform. So there's already a number of those that are out. So this is just going to keep progressing and keep progressing because everybody knows the size of the market is increasing, and as the baby boomers get older, we've always been very comfortable with technology, and so it's the pace and the direction of the technology shouldn't limit us in the way that it did for our parents' generation, who were much more uncomfortable with new technologies, and so that's somewhat held back development, I think.
And certainly this technology reflects the current baby boomers who want to stay at home, who want to be independent, but also want to continue to be very versatile in their travel and go place to place and not just be in one spot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're right. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. There's the desire to maintain a lifestyle, to maintain independence as much as medically possible, but at the same time, acknowledge that, I am getting a little older and the knees are starting to give out, and maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea for me to have something like this, and so on.
But
So,
take away that fear of maybe living alone
Yeah.
or living independently. That's awesome. Well, in addition to these emergency response systems, your company also provides systems that help people who maybe are getting older and taking a lot of medication. And, me, for not being what I consider too old, I sometimes forget, now did I take that pill today? And so there's a service for that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. We've been handling medication dispensers for a good 10 or 12 years now. And I can say there's probably worked through about 4 or 5 different generations of them. And the most popular one today is something called a Med Ready, which is basically the size of about a dinner plate, and it will hold up to 28 doses of medication. So everything that you would take at one time, like your 8 o'clock, your morning meds, it has containers, you put all those meds in there, and then you just put as many days into the device as you can put together, up to 28 doses. And basically, what you have is a hybrid between an alarm clock and a simple med box, a med box with 4 by 7 cells. So when you put this together, you set the alarm up, you set the time up so it knows what time of day it is. You can set in up to 4 alarms. You load the medications. and you lock it. And so the user gets only the right dose at the right time. So it's pretty nice. It goes off like an alarm clock, it starts to beep, it has a red light that will start to flash. And we can even put this together with one of these help button devices so that if 30 minutes elapse and you haven't taken the medication out of the dispenser, you haven't stopped it from beeping, then the dispenser will activate the help button, makes a call to the operators then talk to you in the home and inquire as to if you need any assistance with the medication. Quite often it's just important to remind someone because they may not have heard the alarm, they've been asleep or whatever reason, they didn't hear it. And so this is very, very helpful. So we call that supervision, so it's supervising the dispenser.
And are they easy to use? Excuse me, easy to use?
Oh, they're very easy to use. This one in particular, well, like I mentioned, it buzzes like an alarm clock. It has a red light that flashes, and to take the meds out, you simply slide a door, which is very prominent. It's the only thing you can move on the top of the dispenser. You slide it up, that turns off the alarm, and it displays those meds. And all you see are the meds for that dose. And that's all you will see until the next dose, in which case that compartment moves over and the next one is accessed, and you go on to your day that way.
Excellent. Now, certainly there are other companies in the area, in the country, that provide these types of services. Mm-hmm. Tell me why Safecall is the best one.
Okay, thank you for asking that. The reason, many of the companies that provide these type of services, aside from us, are nonprofits. And some people naturally say, well, it's nonprofit, so it must be better. Well, let me tell you something. With a nonprofit agency, they often have several other sources of revenue, meaning that they can get a United Way grant or other kind of local monies or state monies or federal monies that help them to operate. So as a result, they don't really have to focus on the market. They don't have to focus on the people at home. Those of us in the for-profit sector, there's only one way we survive, and that is by doing the best job we can for the people at home. We don't have United Way monies or other grants that we can apply for generally. So in that case, we just have to do a really good job because the market is going to determine whether or not we survive or not. So Safecall has been in business now for 18 years. So I think that says pretty well. We're doing a really good job. The community in West Michigan is very supportive of us. We have a A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau website of West Michigan. We have not had a single complaint to even have to resolve. And the way you avoid getting a single complaint is that you take care of any problems right at the beginning.
All right, Sanford from Safecall, thanks for being with us this morning.
You're welcome, Catherine. Thank you.